What's going on, guys? And we are going to continue from where we stopped. The fourth video, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So, like I said in the previous video, we are going to be making some changes in the main.py. As you can see, I have created a components folder. It's a package, so it has an init model. So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to remove the necessary things that I said we are going to remove and add one more thing. So right click here and new. You should use new file. Just create a new file. For me, I created a template. Give you the UIX. So I'm going to name this imports. So imports.kv. So for now, we're not going to put anything inside it. Let's just close. So here, I'm going to remove this baby here. We don't need it, right? Yeah, we don't need it. I'm going to say builder, the load. So let me import this builder first. Yeah. What is it going to load? It's going to load a file. What's the name of the file? It's going to load imports.kv. Exactly. And then moving on, we have to change this guy to root, self.root. If we change this guy to self.root, then we have no use for this bastard down here. Gone. So we don't need the build method anymore. The build method should go. If there's anything we have to implement on the build method, I will let you know on that, but there's nothing we need to implement on the build method. Now, next thing is we are going to replace this generate application screen. But before we replace that, let us write the code that will be replacing it on top of it. Then later on, we compare and contrast. So first, I'm going to create an add screen method. Yeah, this add screen method is going to take some parameter. The name of the screen is going to take, hey, should I switch this screen when I add the screen? Should I switch? Whether it's true or false is your business. Hey, is this the first screen for this application? It's still your business. You have to know that yourself. So I want to check if first, if it is the first screen, what should happen then? Self dot load the screen. We're going to create a load screen method. Now it's going to take the name of the screen. Yeah. And it's going to take switch and then first. Yes. So, and when we are done, we should just return. Now, if not, self dot root widget. Remember, our root widget is MD Screen Manager. If the root widget does not have this screen, yeah, let's say after we are done with the first screen and we are trying to add another screen, and if the root widget does not have the screen we're about adding, it should do itself a favor by we're going to create a dialog that open. This dialog will do us the favor of delaying. It will show a spinner while the screen is being added. If there is a whole lot of widgets, if there's not much widgets, it will just add instantly. You won't even notice the dialog. Anyway, let's continue. The dialog is very simple. Excuse me, back in a jiffy. All right, I'm back. I thought someone was knocking. Okay, so a simple dialog. It doesn't have this. It's just a modal view, just to darken the screen a little bit and just put only a spinner, no white background, just you'll still see your background anyway. So the next thing is then we are going to use a clock. Yeah, so that it doesn't hang our application. Our application doesn't freezes, right? So we're going to use a clock to schedule the adding of the screen. So clock dot schedule once. So only once. Then we're going to create a function, an instant function, a lambda function. Lambda, what is the lambda going to do? It's going to accept an empty parameter here. It's just the dt parameter, which we don't need. It's just put an underscore here and move on with your life. Self dot load screen. Yeah. And then when we have loaded the screen, the next thing, okay, no, we need to pass the parameters needed. Name screen. Sorry, not name typo. Name screen. And then add switch. And then first. Okay, so we need to create the load screen. Yeah, so what is the load screen going to do precisely? So the load screen, yeah, let's just type this shit out. It's going to accept a name screen, then switch, then first. Yeah, it's going to accept these three parameters. Then we are going to build the Kivy file first. And where is this Kivy file coming from? It is coming from the screens models. I'll still show you what the screens model is all about, right? This is MVC. Welcome to MVC, guys. So the name of the screen and yeah, just the name of the screen, and then we add Kivy inside here. And then next thing is that we are going to set the model. What is the model? Remember, the model is the database or external data where we get data from. Let's say we have an API or any other data source, we can collect data from there. So yeah, we get the name screen is a dictionary of screens and models and controller. So we get the name screen, then get the model, and then initialize the model. That is why we're putting the extra brackets outside of the list or square brackets parameter. All right, so now we are done with creating the model. The next thing we have to do is create the controller. We have to initialize the controller. So then also we get the dictionary of the controller and then initialize it with the model. So the controller interacts directly, excuse me, the controller that interacts directly with the model. The model gets information and passes it to controller. Controller passes it to the UI. The other way around, model can also interact with the view directly if and only if anything changes on the data. The model is going to update the UI. So we are going to create our view here. This is when we are now going to create our view. Controller get view. Now this is going to initialize the view and get the view, and then store the view in the view variable. And then we are going to say self the root. Remember what root is? Root is our MD screen manager. Select the root to add widget view. Now, if switch, okay, if switch, remember if you want the whatever the screen to switch, let's say when you add the screen and you want it to switch to that screen, you want your application to switch to the current screen that you just added, this is where it is going to check if the switch is true, right? If the switch is true, it's going to do something like this: self dot root dot current, self dot root dot current equals name screen. Yeah, it's going to switch to that screen. If not, first. If the application is not, if the screen is not the first screen that is being added, if you add the first screen, there's no dialog. But if you add another screen and it is not the first screen, it's going to open up the dialog. Self.dialog. It's going to dismiss, not open, it's going to dismiss the dialog. So, yeah. Now let's compare. Here, generate application screens. The Kivy author did use the for loop to instantly load the whole thing when the application is starting up. This method is not super fast. Though when you load everything and start up, you will no longer need to add any other screen later on. But people complain about startup time. So to remove that, we don't need this method. And notice it loads the whole Kivy widget, the whole Kivy code at the very initial startup. We don't need that too. So I'm going to do ourselves the biggest favor by removing that. Also do yourself the biggest favor too by also removing it. Yeah. Now next thing we are going to create is our dialog. Can I say that again? Our dialog. All right, let me reformat our code. All right, so our dialog will be created in the init method. Now, before creating our dialog, we are going to create our spinner first. Yeah, spinner equals factory. I'm going to use a factory here to get MD spinner. Factory dot, you can do from kvmd the uix the spinner import md spinner, just that I don't like importing many modules. Let me just use factory straightforward and get whatever I want to get. So md spinner, yeah, then set, I want the line width to be very thin, I don't want it to be thick. Yeah, just thin equals dp 1.5. Now we need to import dp. Yeah, imported. All right, next thing is we are going to just create self dot dialog. All right, if I can spell this right, equals model view. We're going to import this model view. No, model, sorry. Yeah, import the model view. Next thing we are going to do is, yeah, sorry. Oh, come back. Not shift enter. All right, yeah. So we're going to set the background. We're going to set the background property to an empty string, that is no background at all. Then background color, we're going to set the background color to 0. That is transparent. We're going to make it transparent. So I'm going to multiply this 0 by 4. It's going to give you a list of 4. same thing as saying may I open bracket 0000. So no time to waste time. All right, size hint. We're going to set it to none. Let me use a tuple here to avoid memory leak if I know what I'm saying. All right, so I'm going to use size, set the size to dp40. Yeah, 40 dp. uh Let me open a bracket. Yeah, width 40 dp, height 40 dp. That is a square. Yeah, so next thing is I'm going to set on pre-open and on dismiss. So on pre-open, what should happen? Well, we are going to create a lambda function, not Amazon lambdas. We're not doing WS3 right now. So set attribute the spinner. Yeah, we set the active attribute of spinner to true. Let's say once the dialog is opened, set this to true so that the spinner will start turning. The same thing as saying spinner.active equals true, but we can't do it on pre-open because you can't have a double equal to sign. It's going to give you an error. So use a lambda function to set that. Yeah. Then on dismiss, we're going to set this lambda function. Create a lambda function, right? And set the attribute of spinner active to false. Yeah. So now next thing is for us to add the widget spinner to the dialog. Yeah. Self.dialog dot add widget. Spinner. Then self dot dialog dot auto dismiss. Oh, why should I be setting the auto dismiss here? We should have done it earlier on here. Auto dismiss equals false. Yeah, so that when the user clicks on the dialog, it doesn't dismiss. Or outside of the dialog, it doesn't dismiss. It just keeps on loading until the widget is added. Yeah, you don't want the dialog to be dismissed anyway, to avoid bad user experience. So next thing is for us to, here we add our first screen, but we're going to check if the platform we are going to be based on is a mobile or a desktop. So we don't know yet. I'm going to leave it here and comment this guy here. So remember what we just did? First, we created the add screen method, which is going to function as something that adds our screen when we need it. The load screen method just adds the screen and displays it if we need the screen to display. Then inside the init method, we built the import.kv, which is very important, and then we created the dialog and the spinner widget for us to maintain focus while the screen is loading. Yeah, so this is the first section. We can't run this project right now. If we run it, it's going to crash. So before we move to the next, I'm going to show you something. These screens, let me show you where it is imported. So views the screens, yeah. So why we created the MVC project, all these things has been created for us beforehand. So no need for us to start wasting our time creating all these things from scratch again. So if you go here, you will see the screens. When you open it, what you will see is a dictionary. We have the login screen. This is the login screen name. As you can see here, oh, it didn't add that here. There's supposed to be name. Yeah, then login screen. But anyway, no need to type that now. I'm going to add one more screen so that automatically it will add all of them. Due to the change we have made on the add view module of KVMD, when we add a new screen, it's going to automatically add the whole names on the whole screens. So let's see for ourselves. I'm going to open this guy, the terminal, and then let's first of all check which KVMD model, kvmd.add view. So we're still on our venv. Okay. So we're going to say kvmd.add view. Let's just type it this way and see the help options. It's going to display a help option. So we have use responsive, pattern, directory name, directory and name. So I'm looking for name, the name of the view to add. Okay. So first thing first is use responsive. I don't think use responsive comes first. Let me pause this video. Okay, so I just put up the MVC documentation. So the way it is being structured is this way: Kivy md dot add view, right? Add view first, then the pattern, then the directory which you are working on, your project directory, which is just dot. Remember, we are on PyCharm project and art. Art is our current project. So now what is the name of the screen? So we forgot to add a payment screen because this is an art gallery where people can buy and sell art. So we are going to put payment screen. And then next thing is, should we use responsive? Is it responsive? Yes. Use responsive. Yes. So I think that's just it. Now when we hit the enter, it should create the project, the screen for us. Now let's kind of like it didn't add the name for me here. I don't know why. Let's check the module it is trying to use. Viv then kvmd. Yeah. Okay. So let's confirm our payment screen. Our payment screen got added, but what is missing is the name. The name didn't get added. So I think there is something else we are missing on the ad view. So for those of you who are still with me here on PyCharm, so just quickly head over to kvmd dot tools dot pattern dot add view. Control B on your add view. So everything looks okay here. So what I'm looking for is KV. Let's look for this. Okay. I'll pause this video and find it so that the video doesn't get longer. If you're still with me, let's take it back. So when you hit add view, Control B, you're going to hit create view, Control B, then go down to 1079. So replace this. Pause your video. Yeah, okay, just edit. Replace that line with whatever I pasted here. So yeah, we are good to go. I'm going to remove this guy right now, and then I'm going to open my terminal. Since we have created a payment screen, let's just create uh collection, something like that, or cart. We haven't created a cart screen. Yeah, your cart. Oh, no, my collection screen. And let's see, fingers crossed, let's see if it added. Oh, it still did add. uh Let me test again and see if it works. If it doesn't work, then we have to manually add everything ourselves. So basically it added only for collection screen. It didn't add for other screens. So I think with other new screens we create, it's going to automatically add for those. So manually we have to do this ourselves, which sucks. So we're going to change this to login screen. Change this guy to payment screen. I'm going to change this one to collection add screen. We're going to change this to home screen. I think we have done for login screen, payment screen. Yeah. What about profile? So we are going to add the name to profile screen. Next thing is on the sign up. Next thing is on the splash screen. Alright guys, so see you in my next video, and I'll be committing this code to GitHub. I'll be posting out the link on the description below. So see you on my next video. Thank you.